Hello, I'm Hunter Schultz. Even before COVID-19, independent primary care physicians were in a lot of trouble. The system, the old obsolete one, was chewing them up and spitting them out. It's abusive, very abusive. Well, here are three physicians who once felt that way, but no more. Take their word for it. The fight isn't over. There's help out there with medicine's most supportive community. As Spock once said, Mr. Scott, there are always alternatives. Starting right now.
Yeah, I mean, I had so much support from other direct primary care doctors, and I thought about it for a long time. It was something I had heard of in residency, but in residency, I never thought I would be opening my own practice. My plan was always to work in a federally qualified health center or a county clinic, and I worked for 2 years after residency in a health center in Philadelphia before we moved back here. And it never even occurred to me to open my own practice. I just thought direct primary care sounds really cool, but I don't think I could do that. But it just became more and more clear to me that for my family and work-life balance, it was not going to work doing the traditional route anymore. And I just had so much support from other DPC doctors. So it's still hard. I'm not going to say that it's been an easy switch, but having all of those doctors around the country as a support system to, bounce ideas off of and give you support when you're having a bad day or say, well, this is what worked for me. You could try this. It's just been great.
There's some movements out there. I don't know if you've seen, there's some movements of the AFP and some other academies, state academies, and larger organizations are to try to push for more for primary care, to push more of a monthly payment type mechanism like we do already in direct primary care, because so many family physicians are really getting hammered right now for coronavirus. They have 2,000 or 3,000 patients. They can't get seen. There's almost no way you can handle the volume of video visits and text messages and all that stuff with 3,000 patients. So you'd have to cut that volume down dramatically. So it's way harder to know. I mean, even if you have 2,500 patients, 2,000 patients, it's hard to know those 2,500 people really well. So if you're 500 to 700, which are most DPC, you can really get a better handle. If you're spending 30 minutes to an hour at a time, 3 or 4 visits a year, you can spend a lot more time, plus you're texting and emailing in between, so you learn more with that too. So it does help having a lot more information, a lot more context to really help those folks. So this, the coronavirus has really made, it should be eye-opening to our whole country really, because of the primary care issue has suffered so bad. Will there be changes? Who knows? I'm part of a independent physician organization called Direct Primary Care Alliance, and we're reaching out to community physicians to say, hey, we're here to help you, support you, educate you on direct primary care if you want to go that route. So we're hoping that a lot of these folks will not quit, because there's a lot of rumors and people out there saying, hey, I'm locking the doors and I'm going to do something different, which would not be good for our country. We need to keep our primary care physicians.
What's really exciting, about 5 of us in the Alliance decided that it's sort of an opportune time for us to release like a policy or a position paper, and just really remind people what we do and that we're out there. I think a lot of physicians just don't know what this is all about. And within a bunch of my colleagues within the direct primary care movement, we've tried to be really mindful and be sensitive about how catastrophic this is financially for some physicians' practices, personally, professionally, because the last thing we want to do right now is say, haha, we figured this out like 10 years ago. Look at, this is why this model's better. But there's a quote, and I don't know who said it, but it's pressure on a cohesive system makes it stronger, and pressure on a non-cohesive system makes it break. And I think we've all known our healthcare system is non-cohesive. Direct primary care as a business model is more cohesive because it can pivot, because most of us have micro practices or smaller practices, and most of us maintain decisional authority. So if we need a new app, we get it. If we want to learn point of care ultrasound, we do it. I had the Idaho Health Data Exchange, anyway, I was talking to get access to in-hospital information on my patients, and I'll just never forget the tech guy I was talking to said, well, you'll have to have your administrator call me to get download. And I said, okay, the administrator's on the phone right now. What do I need to click? So we are able to pivot and move quickly and transition. And I think that's not just what modern times demands, it's what caring for people demands. But again, my hope, and with this interview, which I hope is timely, I hope more and more people realize that, yes, there's a huge community out there of colleagues who want to help, who've been where doctors are, that this can be done. And, the DPC Alliance has created DPC University, and this is going to sound like a plug, but
go right ahead.
Yeah, for a while it was available only to our paying members, and we just decided about 2 months ago to open it up to everybody. So literally it is the mind share of like 30 of the top minds in DPC and their learnings, and I was one of the writers of it. It's got sort of abbreviated segments that I elaborated on in my book, but it's all there. It's all free. Our entire membership is online. Every single person, Dr. Schutte had come forward and said he'd love to be a mentor. Most of us figure out what we're doing because a doctor ahead of us helped us. And my first mentor was Dr. Josh Umber, and I am forever indebted to him. I've grown up and I'm kind of my own full-fledged person now, but I wouldn't have, yeah. I mean, so we all kind of have a pay it forward mentality, which is intrinsic to actually the native culture of medicine and to the Hippocratic Oath. And it doesn't necessarily mean we do everything for free, but this sort of eating our own that has become a part of medical culture benefits everybody except physicians. As long as we're fighting amongst ourselves, we're not collaboratively working to be better.